Hi, and welcome to the first podcast for Talking Green America. Well, this is going to be a short one, but I'll try to inject enough to keep you mildly interested. The basic idea is financial. We're talking about saving the planet at a profit, right? So can we make out like bandits? Well, maybe not, but we don't have to. All we have to do is solve the CO2 problem, right? We have to stop our part of global warming issues. All right, well, so if we can do some projects at a profit for the country, then we really don't have to make big profits, just enough to get the job done. Well, a great example, the one that we use in our videos, the one that's on the website, is Hoover Dam. It's a simple project, it's easy to understand, it's old, but the principles remain the same. The Treasury Department laid out the money to build the dam. So there was money going out to start with. That much is true. But no taxes were necessary because of the Hoover Dam. It was a business loan. It was structured like a business loan. Now, the loan was not to an entity. It was a loan to the United States. We're going to buy this dam. We're going to go buy this piece of equipment. And it's going to be profitable for 9 gazillion years, and it'll be a tourist attraction, and it'll do great things for the Colorado River Basin for water management, which was a big part of the picture. So it's going to do all these lovely things, and the United States is buying that stuff. But to pay for it, we're not raising taxes, we're installing a power station in the dam. That's not that hard to understand. If we have a company that goes to the bank and gets $1 billion loan to build a nuclear reactor, the bank is saying, okay, well, I want you to pay me back based on the fact that the power that the reactor makes is going to be something you can sell. And the business sells that power, pays off the loan as part of its operating cost, and everybody's happy. The United States Treasury Department did the same thing for the Hoover Dam, except the United States loaned money to the United States. Right? The bank loaned money to the bank. Now get this. Banks operate that way all the time. Banks engage in business on their own behalf all the time. They'll go find something to invest in so that the employees at the bank get a salary. That's how those folks get paid. So our financial modeling here is not only not unusual, it's the way America does business all the time. If there's a bank involved in a lemonade stand, it's the same model. So what was different about this public works model? Well, in the end, not much. One of the things that's great to look back at, though, is that during its day, the Hoover Dam project didn't have to pay a real big interest rate. It paid the going interest rate. Well, in point of fact, because we're going to operate some projects as our own bank, we don't have to pay ourselves an interest rate profit at all. We can operate at zero profit on the interest. Let's say that we're going to build another Hoover Dam, and it's going to cost billions of dollars, and we're going to hire lots and lots of people, and we're going to install a power plant. And over 50 years, the power plant is going to pay back the loan, little bits at a time. It's a really expensive project. It's going to take a long time to pay back. But how much interest do we need on the loan? Oh, we don't need any interest on the loan. We just need to get the money back. It's the same number of dollars 50 years from now as it is today. We're just stretching out the payments. Now, the fact that inflation happens over that time doesn't really matter. The United States Treasury Department has a supply of money sitting in the vault, theoretically. It loans out part of that money comes back. Who cares? Let's become a little bit honest and say, who cares? It doesn't matter. Now, if the project makes a profit, we go build this power plant, it sells power, and it sells more power than it needs to pay off its operating costs and the cost of the loan. Well, by golly, what's that profit do? What do we do with that profit? Well, that project could be run by a private company that supports our economy, and that private company's economy grows and supports jobs. We don't need to take that profit as a country. Now, if we want a profit on it as a country, let's do a project, and I don't care what project you want. I mean, let's go grow flowers in your backyard, and you're going to sell them on the street corner. Nobody cares what the idea is, really. It just has to be a valuable idea to the United States. It has to help solve the CO2 problem. It has to be something we want to accomplish. Past that, where's the profit go? Do we need profit? Well, if we have profit, it can go back in the Treasury, which does what? It helps our budget deficit. Today, speaking in 2020, we have $1 trillion a year budget deficit. There's no good reason for it. We're not in a recession. We're not in the middle of a war. We just have a horrifically bad deficit. Okay, well, how about if we sort of kind of fix some of that? Now, it won't be a lot, but it'll help. At the end of the day, at the end of the argument about how we're going to fix any of this stuff, this kind of financial model can be plugged into so many different kinds of things. And the Treasury, look, we're really talking about printing money. It's bottomless. Now, this is not MMT, monetary theory. It's not printing money and giving it away to the economy and just letting it float out there. We need the money back, right? If we write $1 trillion worth of loans, we need $1 trillion paid back, with or without interest. It just has to come back. So any project that we structure has to be structured in such a way as a business responsible government, financially responsible government, not a bunch of lunatics handing out money on the street corner. We're not really robbing the bank. We hand out all that money on the street corner as long as we have modeled that business so that we know that money is at least coming back. If it makes a profit, wonderful. I mean, that'd be great, wouldn't it? But if we do some programs that are a little sketchy in some area, well, we can afford to be a little bit of a risk taker, right? But it's the government. We're going to be very safe. We're going to pad everything that we want to do with safety margins. Everything costs twice as much and takes 3 times as long. So let's just be careful. And on that basis, we can move ahead with financing. Hydro projects, geothermal projects, all kinds of stuff. Battery R&D. I mean, there's almost no financial thing you can come up with that we can't operate this way. We want to figure out if tidal power can be lucrative. Can it work? Okay, write a check for it. As long as the companies doing that research are on the hook for the loan, and we think it's a workable thing, then why not? So there's step one. We've really kind of got that going on. Should we look at exactly how things worked for the Hoover Dam? Well, we could, but you can Google that. I'll just tell you that it paid off after 50 years. It's not making tons of money, but it's making like $5 million a year or something in profit that goes to the states around the dam. So it does make a profit, and that profit does go to the United States government. By the way, folks, to wrap up this particular episode, we own that. That's a national store, okay? We bought the store, we built the store, we own the inventory, and we get the profits. Now, the profits aren't big, but it's free and clear because the thing is paid for. It's not run by a private company. The Hoover Dam is run by the Bureau of Reclamation. So it's ours, and we make money, and we spend the money on, land management or whatever. We could spend that money anywhere. It's just going in our national budget, okay? In point of fact, it's going into a bunch of state budgets, but it's the same argument one way or another. Any national projects that we put together could have a national budget, and they could have a national income, and by golly, that could take care of some of the deficits that we're having. So there's really not much of a reason to hold back doing a lot of these projects. Now, can we do everything this way? I don't know. But I haven't run into very many things we can't do when thinking it through. Now, the Hoover Dam model might have to be shifted a little bit, might change the way it's structured slightly. Maybe we do something that pays off in 20 years. Maybe we do something that has a real profit. Maybe we do something that engages in retail sales. Okay, well, if we are going to have the government behind retail sales, that's a separate deal, right? We're not going to do exactly storefront kinds of, hey, the government is selling widgets today. At what point do we need to engage private companies to legitimize hands-off approach to our own economy? We want to support jobs. We want to not necessarily make every job in the world a government job. We want to support the free economy. So how about if we use these kinds of loans to lubricate and finance the private industry sector? We don't have to do just government programs, right? We can do private sector programs. Like right now, the research and development programs that are being supported by the government are helping develop fusion reactors and do other kinds of research along those lines. Okay, we're helping to pay for the research and development that's going to yield a private company's income someday down the line. But it's in our national interest to see that happen. Now, are we getting a profit back from those? I don't know, but we should. If we say we invest in this thing like an investor, just like a bank putting money into a business, why not get something back for that effort? We put out $1 trillion, we'd like $1 trillion back with interest. I mean, it's a business loan. If we're supporting private industry, it should be at a profit. And if it's something that we're just doing as a national interest kind of a thing, then we don't need the profit. One way or another, we have the financial modeling in place to handle pretty much everything we need to do about the climate change oriented things without touching our national budget. Just leave it alone. When the Treasury writes a loan like that, it does not show up on our balance sheet as a deficit. It's a Treasury note. It's not a national deficit. That's the thing that I would love for you to take away from this discussion. It's not taxes. It's not going to be in our tax-oriented IRS bill every year. So hopefully that has put a good spin on the money part of this. And yeah, why not rob the bank? I mean, so to speak. As long as we know that we are doing something safe, financially sound, and in our interests, write the checks, make the money, get the money back, call it quits and save the world. Send us your questions down below at the link. We're definitely going to answer things and talk it through. I'm going to do a lot of podcasting. Mash that subscribe button for me, people, and hit the alert button so you know when to come back. Share the word big time. Okay, so we're going to see you next time, right? Everyone, come back and bring your friends. And thanks again for watching.